Alright, welcome in folks. It's Donkey, and today we are going to cover the skill trees. What they do, what the point buy system is all about, which ones to naturally gravitate to, and those to avoid. So we're going to start off with the perception tree. Each tree has a varying number. This happens to have 10. I believe one or two of them have 10 or 11. I can't remember. There's a variance in a couple, but anyway. So, with perception, this governs rifles, demolitions, so your throwables, and your spears. That's the weapons that it governs. So, with each level you get pretty much a bonus in headshots, dismemberment chance. Like for instance, first level, headshots deal 200, 5% chance of dismemberment, and any tools, and that also covers like the wrench, the impact driver, stuff like that. So, as you can see with each one, you get a little bit bonus. You will also, throughout, let's see, can't remember, is it 10? Okay. So, anywho, so you just get at least with these, you just get more headshot and dismemberment chance. Moving on to Deadeye, that is your single shot rifles. So your pipe rifle, your hunting rifle, your lever action, and your sniper. So with these, each point you put into them. So this one, you do 10% more damage, you reload faster. So this one, 20/20. Apparently you aim in faster. So it's just weapon proficiency. Once you hit the third level, you get your damage bonus. So successful kills increase damage by 10, 20, and 30. And as just like any other tree, the more you put into it, the better it is. If you're a sniper guy, this is one to go into. Demolitions, same thing. Just you do more damage, you more dismemberment. Let's see, so increase in damage by 10, reload speed, so I guess you can pull them out of your pocket faster. Aim a little faster. I mean, it's a grenade, just get it close. Yeah, so just greater dismemberment chance. Yeah, you just get more effective with them. Now, keep in mind, this can really wreck your base once you get into higher level explosives. That extra damage really stacks up, especially if you're using dynamite. It can really wreck, does a lot of block damage, so buyer beware. Spearmaster, I'm not doing spear on this playthrough, but on one of my previous ones, this is a big one. A lot of good perks here. So, overall damage increase. This one slows your, like if you stab them in the legs, they lose a little mobility. Stamina cost per swing for power attacks and standard. And you'll find more loot in like spears and spear parts. And one thing to cover about Deadeye here, this one does not grant more 7.62. So if you're missing out on rifle ammo early, if you put a point into machine gunner, you'll find more 7.62 in loot. So keep that in mind. I put one in there just for that point, that I find more loot. Quick and perceptive. This is just increases your attack speed with your spears, and yeah, so you attack faster. The infiltrator. Must have the Amazon delivery guy here. I'm sure editing donkey will take that out. Infiltrator. This is one I really haven't gone into. I try to be sneaky, but I'm not, so it's like, why even try? It's not my playstyle, but you know, some people are assassins, and this is something you might want to look into if that's your playstyle. Like there are loose board traps where you fall, you'll be walking through, and the floor will fall out. This gives you a little extra time for a reaction. Higher levels, it helps with landmines, which is great, but there's a perk book I'll discuss here in a little bit that allows you to walk over landmines and not die. Animal tracker. I'm a little on the fence with this one. Early game, it's not bad. When you're looking for food, pretty much you crouch down and it will give you, like in a short amount of time, it will tell you if one of these critters is in the area. So first level is rabbits, snakes, chickens. Second level is wolves and coyotes. You can actually detect deer and boar as well. And the big game hunter, which is nice if you're going to be going in later game when you're going to be going on hunting trips to unlock that challenge of all the animals. So that gives you the mountain lions and bears. Kind of useful, but you know, you can, when you have too many points, you can dump a couple into that, I guess. So, penetrator. This is dealing with spears, archery, and other specialized ammo, aka armor-piercing bullets, which we'll get to that later. There are certain zombie types that are armored, and this pretty much helps negate a little of that and allows you to target additional targets once you blow through the first zombie, and it just keeps going. So you can line up, depending on your horde base or how you line things up, you can get all your ducks in a row and get max effectiveness out of your rounds. And as you can see, the more and more points you put into it, it starts paying off. And once you get into end game horde nights, when everything is radiated and armored, it will, yeah, you can just watch your XP meter fly. Lucky Looter. This is a decent one. Once again, early game, it's all based off of percentage points. So early game, 5% of a really low loot stage doesn't help you. Once you hit about tier 2 to tier 3, that sounds like we've got company. So it stacks, it goes up. Yeah, it's a decent one later game. Treasure Hunter. This allows you. One second, folks. I'm busy. Okay. Back to story time. So, a treasure hunter. This lowers the radius of when you're doing buried supplies or later when you get treasure maps. Also increases the amount of items found in them. Not a bad one. Salvage operations. As you can tell, this is a must for me. It's what governs your salvage tools. You'll find more wrenches and tool parts. Stamina reduction. Gosh dang it. Anybody else? So, it allows you to, cuts down on the stamina usage, you find more parts, and yeah, you just gather at higher rates. So, on to strength. Governs pretty much strength-based weapons, so your sledgehammers, your clubs, and all of your tools on block damage. Whether that be your axes, your pickaxe, harvesting tools. 1 second, folks. They didn't pay for this class, or they didn't sign up for it. So, just like any of the Prime, this one governs tools, clubs, like I already said. Boomstick, that's your shotguns. It's a great weapon, I just am not utilizing it in this playthrough. It allows you to, just like any other one, you shoot faster, you reload faster, find more gun-related or shotgun-related stuff. Pummel Pete, that's clubs and bats. The one thing about this one, killing blows grant stamina, so you can beat the tower out of Zeds and your stamina just keeps refilling. The sledgehammer, it's also governed by strength. You have a really good chance of knocking them down. Great for crowd control. You can swing in a wide pattern and take them out faster. Big and fast, that is attack speed with melee weapons. There are 2 types of armor, or 3 types. There's heavy, medium, and light. Heavy armor is what I'm using this time. So with each point you get stamina reduction while wearing that. So yeah, you're just more effective running in heavy stuff. Pack Mule. Early game, very good. Later, when you can craft the pocket mods, which increase your carrying capacity, this stat goes to the wayside. Master Chef. This is your cooking. One huge boost to this early game. You will find more eggs in nests, which can be the difference between starving and thriving. Also cuts down on recipe cost, and it allows you to cook faster, which will save fuel. Very important. Miner 69er. This is the stat that governs mining tools. So you do more damage, there's stamina reduction, and you find more parts and loot. Mother Load is the equivalent for resources. So with each point, you gather more resources of what you are gathering. So with your pickaxe, your shovel, your standard axe. So these 2 very much increase your resource gathering, and if you're going to build, which you have to, put some points into that one. Fortitude, this is kind of overall, it allows you to, yeah, it's like I think there's okay, so that's just straight damage. And effectiveness with beating people with your fists and machine guns. Brawler, like I said, you just punch zombies. This is a pretty cool class. I personally haven't done much experience with it, but killing blows can't give you stamina, and combination with a few perk books, you are just, it's nasty. It's just getting to that point. Machine gunner, like I touched on earlier, You do more damage, you have a faster firing rate, and you reload faster. And the big one is you find more 7.62. Even if you're not rocking a machine gun, put one in there, and that will help significantly. Lightning hands, it's just makes you throw faster. The Huntsman. This is depending on your playstyle, could be useful. You just harvest more resources from animals. So if you're on a grind for leather or animal fat or meat, it's a good one. Well insulated. Unless you're running around with no clothes or primitive armor, this skill is useless. As of 1.4, they haven't put in the weather effects, so this is a trash stat. Living off the land, early game, very useful. Also, if you're going to be the farmer, this is a good one. It's resources cost less to craft farm plots, which early game is significant. And it also increases your farm plot yields. Or wild crops as well that you find out. Pain tolerance. This one is kind of a big one. It's damage reduction on you and less likely to get the like serious injuries like stunned. You're just a little hardier. Healing factor. I have mixed feelings on this particular stat, this skill. Early game, stay away from it until you have established food and water. You may think, oh, hey, it's going to make me heal faster, but the downside of it is it drains your food and water. So unless you have a hardy stock of food and water reserves, stay away until you're, about, I think it's tier 3 food unlocked. Then you can start putting some of this. Iron Gut. This one is hugely underrated. It allows your food and water to last longer. Your chance of dysentery is reduced, and the big one is buffs from consumables last longer. So later in game, when you want to take one of the learning elixirs, it's going to last 50% longer. So you get a lot more bang for your buck. Also, some food gives a max stamina bonus, and drinks boost your stamina regeneration. So pretty important. Rule 1 cardio. That is how fast your stamina regenerates when you're running. Early game, super important. After you get the bike and the subsequent vehicles from there on out, kind of becomes less of a problem unless you're going to do horde nights on foot or you're constantly running and find yourself running out of stamina. On to the next, we have agility. This one governs bows, crossbows, pistols, submachine gun, and knives. Just like with any other one, increased headshot damage and dismemberment with each level. Archery, like I said earlier, that's bows and crossbows. Just like any of the other categories, you get more proficient and you find more parts. I don't believe there's any... Yeah, there's some weapons, mainly the firearms, have Like for instance, this one. Once you get several rounds on target, you start racking up extra damage. So if you can get that SMG at like close to mid-range and fire a 2 to 3 round burst and just try and keep accuracy in mind, you can just mow down Zeds. Deep cuts, that is with your blades. That's your bone knife, your hunting knife, and later your machete. Good one about this is you can inflict bleed on a target. It's a great way to, at least early game, establish bleeding and get them going, and then switch to a different weapon to finish them off. Whirlwind, that increases your knife attacks. Run and gun, very useful. Anytime you are running and reloading, which is a lot in the game, it increases that, and your accuracy while firing from the hip goes up. Medium armor, just like, sounds like I got an airdrop. Yeah, same thing. You're gonna find more armor parts, stamina reduction, all that good stuff. Parkour, one of my favorites. I would recommend getting at least level 2. That allows you to jump 2 blocks high. You can increase that up to, I believe it's 4 blocks high. But that can really mess with some of your jumps and some of the interior POIs. So be mindful. Once you get used to it, it's easy, but I find it kind of a pain in the butt to manage. Like when to, I have to crouch jump here to make it across this gap, or, just learning little tricks. So, Hidden Strike, this is your sneak attack bonus. It's very, very nice. At higher levels, when you're smacking them for, 250% damage, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm not sneaky. I don't pretend to be, but you move a lot faster and a lot sneakier, and you're a lot less detectable. So, intellect. As you can see, this is my primary stat. In this playthrough, I have stun batons, and I have a couple robotic turrets. So, more points in it, the more damage you do. Electrocutioner, that is batons. Great for crowd control, but into high-level POIs, you can get into trouble because the damage output is low unless you have a good secondary weapon to finish them off. Thing about the stun baton, at higher levels you regain stamina for killing. Robotics Inventor, this one is a good one. Let's see, this one you get... Okay. Yeah, so this one you can get your robotic sledges, robotic turrets. They reload faster. They just attack and reload faster. This is calculated attacks is stun batons. Better barter. You get better deals while dealing with the trader. My personal favorite, the Daring Adventurer. You can get better items, more money, and the big one, when you get to level 4, it allows you to pick 2 quest rewards, which by the time you unlock that, you're on, tier 4, tier 5, maybe tier 6, and they have good rewards. So it's kind of nice to be able to grab 2. Charismatic Nature. This is a great one if you stick together. If you're doing multiplayer. Single player, don't even bother. But if you stay in close proximity to each other, you get all sorts of awesome. This one is +1 to all attributes. However, you have to stay within like a 30-meter range, and it only lasts for, it's a limited amount of space. And if you are outside of that buffer zone, you lose that buff and can really screw you. Like, prime example, if you have that extra +1 and it allows you to get the next level of parkour, and you're used to jumping, we'll say 4 blocks or 3 blocks high, and now you can only jump 2 and you're stuck. So be mindful of that. Physician. Personally, I think the most important one is what you unlock at level 1. That splints and cast cure sprains instantly. That is huge. As you progress, you get more experience by using. So if you're going to be the team's healer, this is good. Or if you have a stun baton for that final 10% chance to instant death. And considering how many times you have to hit something with that stun baton to kill them, an extra 10% chance is nice. Advanced engineering. This is a very important one. Not only do you get experience from your traps, so your blade traps, dart traps, I believe your turrets, all are factored into this. So you gain experience from trap kills, you craft faster at workbenches, in the forge, you get cost reduction in the forge, and forge steel. It's pretty much, if you're going to do any advanced crafting, throw a couple points into this. And also with that, you get your forged ahead books, which are huge. So yeah, that goes for parts. In the weapons, I'm not sure I mentioned it earlier, but you will find more books to level that up. And that goes for every weapon type. So if you put a point into rifles, you will find more rifle books and loot. So this one is your workstations. Grease Monkey is your vehicles. With each corresponding vehicle, you get a reduction in parts, and your repair kits are more effective. If you're anything like me, when you get to the 4x4, it feels like you're just feeding it repair kits over and over again. So a couple points into that, you will find more books to unlock the vehicles faster, and your repair kits are faster, will work more. Lockpicking. This will also give you more forged ahead books. I have mixed feelings about this one. I tend to always just break more lockpicks the more I put points into this, but you find extra lockpicks, you can reduce the time of picking locks, and apparently you break less lockpicks, but I disagree. Okay, so these are your perk books, and they govern different things, like the art of mining. That's pretty much, you're going to find there's 7 books to a series, and when you unlock all of them, you get a bonus perk. Mining ones are pretty nice. None are game-changing. This one's kind of nice because that's a challenge. And this one allows you to craft a diamond blade tip mod, which is nice. Automatic weapons. If you are I'm not 100% certain, but I believe if you put points into this weapon type, you are more likely to catch these books as well. I tend to find I have better luck in like the magazine and the newspaper stands tend to have more of the perk books, where mailboxes and loot crates tend to have more of the crafting books. But as you can see, some of these are pretty awesome. Like for instance, power attacks that kill your enemy refill your stamina. That is a nasty book. So you can just sit there and power attack till your heart's content and never worry about it. Like the Shara, let's see, which one is it? The Spear book has like a great one. But a lot of them pertain to, you look at, they just make you a little bit more effective with that weapon. Let's see, where's the Spear Hunter? Like kills with the spear, refill your stamina. Like I'm not rocking spears in this playthrough, but there's a couple of them that like the bleed damage. Like every book or every weapon except, as of right now, the sledgehammer and the knives have a perk book for the weapon. Which I guess you kind of have in Night Stalker, but that's more stealth and sneak. But I don't know, just the batter up. Okay, yeah, that doesn't do sledgehammers. But yeah, that I think that about wraps it up. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's where we get to, like, these are perk books and these are your crafting skills. Like for instance, I have harvesting tools all the way finished. I got a fair amount of them all the way finished, but yeah, we'll get back. So we'll go ahead and sign off for the episode, and I'm gonna try and bring some more videos like this to you guys and girls. So I'll catch you later.